Hi. So it's January, and this is my new forecast for January this year. I would first like to go back to my December forecast to confirm some of my predictions. If you will remember, I mentioned the 15th of December as, or let's say 14th to 16th, but mainly 15th, as a dangerous date, mentioning the possibility of mass accidents. So accidents where many people, more people are involved. And it happened, unfortunately, in several regions of the world. In Tasmania, there was strong wind, which lifted up a balloon where children were playing, or something like a balloon, and over 10 children died in that accident. And then there was the fire in the World Trade Center in Hong Kong, forcing several hundreds of people to wait on the rooftop for the rescuers. So that was another mass thing. And then there was a smaller aircraft accident in Dominican Republic, where 10 people died. These are the three most notable events that I have heard of. We also had some accidents in our part of the world, but that's not so important. Now, the next period that I mentioned as dangerous, especially for fires, was the end of the year, the 30th of and 31st of December. I specifically mentioned the 30th because then the solar eclipse was activated, the solar eclipse of December, by a direct Mars transit. And what happened? We had this huge fire in Colorado, in America. You know how huge it was, and how devastating. I say it's a pity that I cannot predict the location more, but I say that all mundane astrologers who live in different parts of the world should cast their own predictive charts, forecasting charts, and because they know the climate better. Because all astrological predictions must be based on the knowledge of the circumstances that prevail in a certain part of the world. Yeah, also political, as weather and other stuff. Okay, so let us move to January. I will share the screen with you. Let's move to my PowerPoint. So this is January, and hang on. Yeah. First, the first days of January were quite calm, except for, of course, the huge surge of COVID-19 of Omicron variant, which was expected. But as I mentioned in my Slovenian forecast in very early December, I said that this variant would be mild. There were rumors, okay, in South Africa, that it is mild variant, but there were only rumors at the time. But I judged by the transiting Jupiter in January. It actually started on the 29th of December last year, and Jupiter will stay in Pisces for the next 4 months and a little bit further. I judged that because Jupiter is a benevolent planet, and Pisces is a sign related to infectious illness. We know that this pandemic is kind of related, to Neptune in Pisces. So, but Jupiter is a benevolent planet, so it can't cause much harm. So the illness that is now prevailing, the Omicron variant, was expected to cause only mild illness, and that's now being confirmed, I say. Although there is a mass of people, the mass is getting larger, bigger, of people who are getting infected, and this is also Jupiter. Jupiter causes things to grow, to expand, to be big. So anyway, so far everything looks quite okay, except that, of course, there are health institutions warning people that they should get vaccinated and so on. This is still a sign of a strong Saturn influence, which is, by the way, getting stronger, which I will show in the next slide. Well, anyway, we have a period of dangerous days, which start around 10th of January and ends at about 18th. So this is 1 week, approximately. We have several things here. On the 10th of January, Mars gets, the June eclipse is getting activated by Mars, direct Mars, opposing Mars transit. So that can bring more, accidents but not that huge. It's or fires even, but it's not going to be as huge as was the end of December one, the activation of the December eclipse. So we can expect some distress in the world. Yes, something will start to stir. People will start to get maybe angrier also, because we have the continuation of this kind of dramatic, kind of uneasy planetary configurations. One thing is that, let me see, of course, Sun will connect Pluto, but that's not that important. Here we have full moon. Okay, here it is. Yeah, these are going to be the days before the full moon, and we know that every week before the full moon is kind of, people get excited, they get more, wow, let's do this, let's do that. So more work is done by all means, but at the same time, negative feelings also have a way to find their way out of ourselves. So there are more quarrels and aggressiveness, which will be mainly due to Mars getting out of bounds on January 12th. I have that marked in my next slide. I will get back to this, but I would like to point out the 14th of January, when Mercury stations to start moving retrograde until the 10th of, until the 3rd of February. So we know that the days when Mercury is turning, changing direction, are notable. Okay, for people's lack of communication abilities. There are delays in transport communication. There are mistakes being done. People get a bit confused, forgetting about things, and so we should be more careful in the transport, in the daily commuting, okay, signing of contracts, and people's, psychologically speaking, from psychological point of view, people get a bit more introverted, starting to think about things past, that have passed, about their past, often wanting the past to come back to life. So if this is impossible, then there is sadness and melancholy. And because it's January, because that is in the northern hemisphere, of course, we have this winter cold. People should realize that if they get these depressive feelings, it's just due to their wish to get back something that should be left in the past. But use this influence constructively by focusing on things that were left undone in the past. So it is time to renew the contracts, to renew the talks, the plans with others, and so on. Because everything that is redone at this time, and I'm speaking of the period starting on the actually 15th of January, everything that is being redone has more success to, has more possibility to end successfully. There are other retrograde Mercury things that I could mention, but let's move on. Let us go to our next slide, and this is the declination graph. So this is Mars out of bound starting on the 12th of January. Mars out of bound means that Mars crosses, and we have Mars here, crosses the 23.5 degree of declination, which is the maximum declination of the Sun. And whenever this happens, there is a marked, pronounced tendency in the world for aggression, getting out of control. This can happen on individual levels as well as on mass levels. So especially dangerous, I would say, are the dates around the 12th, 13, and also later in March. Sorry, in February, because Mars will be out of bound until the 10th of February. The whole second half of January will probably see more of this aggression and mass shootings. This most often happens in the United States, or we read in the media, because it probably happens in other parts of the world too, but we're not, maybe we can't read this in the media, so we are not aware of that. Just generally speaking, people should be aware of other individuals who might be potentially dangerous, okay? Of course, also politically speaking and sociologically speaking, society, from the point of view of the society, how the society behaves in such times, it's society gets out, and we are expecting mass protests starting around I would say these days, 12, 13, especially 14, 15, and 16, because on the 16th, the moon will reach its maximum northern declination, also just before becoming full, getting full. So this is a very dynamic, exciting, and also potentially stressful and disruptive time. So I think the world will come together, join forces in several of those strivings that have been uniting, certain groups of people. We will see more of this coming out and making the headlines just in the middle of January. The next period of moon getting out of bound will be the last days of January. And this time things will be quieter, okay? We will also, because it's close to the new moon, and we will also see unusual events, especially because this influence will combine with the Mars out of bound. So unusual accidents, and not only aggression. This I'm speaking in relation to the out of bound Mars, but not just aggression, but also unusual accidents that never happened before, or that are so strange, or happening in parts of the world where they don't normally do happen, and so on. So let us move to my last slide, and this only shows the reactivation of the June 21 solar eclipse, which was very strong because it lasted for over 3 minutes, if my memory serves me right, but I think that's correct. Well, anyway, longer eclipses have a longer duration, so they can be felt longer, and Mars will transit over this eclipse degree, in opposition to it, because Mars will be in Sagittarius, of course. That's part of the reason that I said that already the 10th of January could be difficult. Maybe there could be a stronger earthquake because Saturn is squaring Uranus at the time, or some other accident maybe involving old buildings, some collapsing of buildings, and also the political tension is going to be strong because see, Saturn will conjoin the Saturn of the eclipse on the 12th and 13th. And this is a strong mundane influence. And also Pluto will come back to the Pluto of the natal chart of the event, the solar eclipse event. So some traditional and restrictive, maybe politically restrictive laws, or how would I put it, will start to be brought out to the public. So we can expect some disciplining of the society in a way. But this, as already said, will be followed by strong outcries of the general public. I'm thinking of Germany because there is a rumor that Germany is going to implement the mandate the vaccination. We'll see. Well, anyway, this was my last slide, and yeah, and what remains is, let me just stop sharing. If I can do this, I'm not. I think stop share is here. Yeah. So let me just remind you that Daily Moon 2022 is out. It is a book with a daily calendar, but an astrological calendar. It's written for you to plan your daily activities. You can buy it on Amazon. Just Google for Daily Moon 2022 by Kurent. And yeah, it's there for you. And what I want to say is you can buy it on all world Amazons. The book has come out in 4 editions, one for Europe, for Central Europe, one for England and England and Ireland, UK and Ireland, and the third for East Coast of United States, and the 4th edition West Coast of United States. So that's it. Have a nice and safe and enjoyable January. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. And see you next time. Bye.